Thank you, Rhetoric. This is my project on the changing role of teacher. No classroom role teaching. And I would like to start with a video clip from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, in which Ben Stein is acting as an economics teacher, and he is giving a dramatized portrayal of what teaching is in America. If you go ahead and pay attention, sorry, that's all good. If you go ahead and pay attention, both his delivery and his students' reactions, that'd be great.
Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the, anyone, the Great Depression, passed the, anyone?
So this is an example of what I would like to call bad teaching. First of all, in this, he is incredibly disengaged from the students. The students' faces show boredom, they show disinterest, they show disgust. This kid's asleep on the desk, drooling. She's blowing bubbles in the back of the classroom. He is disengaged from students. He is also oblivious to the context of teaching him. In this, I really want to focus on the blackboard behind him. He is writing down things like fiscal policy, monetary policy, there's graphs, and he's lecturing. He's answering his own questions while he's lecturing. This is not something that students are connecting with. He doesn't understand this. He's also completely ambivalent to the material he's talking about. This is best shown through his monotone voice, which he's known for in this. But it's passionless, it is emotionless, and once again, it's not getting to the students. So all these culminate into something that is a terrible learning experience for the students. And this is something that we've really settled with as a society. This is something that we've kind of come to accept as the norm, but I don't think this has to be the norm. I think that because we've really reached the digital age, this is something that is going to change. The digital age has already shown that it can change things, like basic communication, it can change things like large-scale manufacturing. So education is next. Why? Because 95% of students are already using the internet on a daily basis. It is just natural that this exposure to technology is going to find its way in the classroom eventually. One view of how this is going to work out is from James Strickland, who says, computers in the classroom change location of authority, directing focus away from the teacher. And this is an idea that really pits teachers against technology. And I will admit that I think that having technology replace teachers in the classroom would be better than teachers like Ben Stein, but I don't think this is what students would learn best from. I think that the optimal solution is having teachers that know how to work with technology. Teachers who are also more responsible for things like societal learning. Teachers who are more contextually aware of the context of teaching, especially technologically. Teachers who are more liberated, both in terms of method and material. So what they're teaching and how they're teaching. Let's get started. So first of all, in terms of increased responsibility, I'm not talking about standardized test scores. Like Jasmine said, that's not something we really need to focus on more. Rather, we need to focus on societal learning. You might ask yourself, what is societal learning? Societal learning is education that is focused on how to function in society, how to contribute to society, and most importantly, really how to improve society. So, this may seem kind of like far-fetched, but districts across the country already have this as a stated goal. The district run to high school says, they try to inspire passion for learning, personal integrity, pursuit of excellence, and social responsibility in each student. District run to elementary school, they say they try to inspire every student to think, to learn, to achieve, and to care. The school district of my aunt's kindergarten teacher, they say they try to develop students to become skillful, active, reflective, self-disciplined, and honorable members of their communities. All these districts have the goal of producing citizens, not test takers. But then, why, when asked, do 83% of Americans believe that the American electorate is uninformed? I'm not saying that voting is the only aspect of citizenship, but living in a democratic society, I think that informed voters is one way of measuring whether or not we're producing actually productive citizens. So if the goal of societal learning is to produce productive citizens, I think it's been shown that good test takers doesn't necessarily equate to productive citizens. Rather, I think that by having actual human role models in the classroom would lead to productive citizens. So, by having teachers who are more responsible for societal learning, this can be achieved. I want to talk about being teachers who are more contextually aware now. So really understanding who they're teaching and how they're learning. In today's society, this all comes down to being technologically aware. So really understanding the tools available to both students and teachers in and out of the classroom. Now I want to go back to James Strickland's idea that teachers are going to be in conflict with technology. And I think that based on the fact, I think that for many reasons, and if this is the case, technology is going to win. This would benefit students the most, and since students' needs are going to triumph over everything else, the technology would beat out teachers if this is truly the case. Why? Because students are members of the digital age. Students are so exposed to technology in the first place, and this is a fact that we cannot change, something we cannot go back from. And while this might seem scary to some people, I'm here to say that that's okay. As long as teachers truly understand that technology needs to be used to benefit students, and that the proper utilization of technology is truly imperative to student success, teachers will be able to maintain their role in the classroom. And you might say, well, why not just replace teachers with technology? I want to go back to the idea that teachers need to be responsible for societal learning, so that we're producing actual productive citizens, not just robotic test takers. I want to finish with the fact that teachers need to be more liberated, both in terms of how they're teaching and what they're teaching. So starting off the method, I'll start with a quote from George Siselsky in 1981, who said, "How can you expect students to be creative when their teachers aren't?" Really expressing this idea that teachers really understand the students' needs better than anyone else does. So why should somebody else be telling them how to teach? Allowing teachers the ability to experiment, allowing teachers the ability to be able to innovate, allows for progress. In individual classrooms, the teachers are allowed to create the way that they're teaching on their own. As long as every teacher has the ability to do that, progress in the entire education system and the change that we're looking for will finally be possible. But also in terms of material, allowing teachers some actual control over what they're teaching allows for teachers to actually have passion in the classroom. So for personal examples, that's really blurry, I'm sorry, but this year is Mr. Snell. Mr. Snell is my 7th grade history teacher. Clearly he also cares a lot about the Revolutionary War. So in lectures, in class, when he was teaching us about the Revolutionary War, his passion shone through, and it really inspired us to actually care more about this topic and learn more about it. Another example, Mr. Smith, my high school English teacher, who's a songwriter, and this is one of his album covers. He's a music artist as well. So he's able to share his true passion for storytelling and writing every day in the classroom with his students. And I think that everyone in this room would agree that impassioned teachers make good teachers. Well, sorry, that's a mistake. Impassioned teachers make amazing teachers. Impassioned teachers, there's no statistic for me to back this up. There's no way to measure passion. But teachers who care about what they're talking about have a difference in their students. It is a noticeable difference in the classroom. It's something that is essential for students to progress. So just to summarize, teachers who are more responsible for societal learning, teachers who are more aware of the context of teaching it, especially technologically, and teachers who are more liberated, both in terms of what they're teaching and how they're teaching, allows for students to have the best outcomes. But I want to finish with acknowledging that some districts are already kind of understanding this. One of my other teachers recognized that the district I went to high school in, our district values teachers and believes that teaching is an art, showing that they already believe that teachers should have the ability to create lessons how they want to, and believe that teachers are really essential for the classroom. And this is something that, although it started in one district, it's something we really need to capitalize on as a whole society. And the best way to do this is the fact, so over the next decade, we need 3 million new teachers. These new teachers need to understand the fact that their new role is much greater than what it has been in the past, that it needs to change. I really plan on being one of these teachers, and the only way I really know how to appropriately end this presentation is by asking if anyone out there is willing to join me in this.